The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sherapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered! You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sherapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Happy Tuesday, Brigade. What's up? Welcome into another episode of the Bostonian versus the book. Dave Sherapan, Matt Perrault, live on YouTube at Boston versus the book, and the same on Twitter X. Coach JY, James Young, joining us a little bit later on. NBA conversation. You guys are in the live chat. Thank you for being here. Your Twitter X people as well. We appreciate you guys being here. You late night owls on Sports Grid, thank you for watching. Sirius XM, not forgetting about you guys, channel 159. Dave, lots of good stuff to get into today on a Tuesday. Some shockers. The NHL had a shocker weekend. The NBA said, hold my beer. We got something for you guys.
Sure did. Wow. A lot of, the parlay paid 75-1, just in case anybody's wondering. The Pacers the night before, and put it with the two dogs yesterday, the Knicks and the Nuggets. 75-1. Thanks for coming. So, wow. Yeah. And it's perfect. That's why we got JY to come on and talk, so he can come on and give us, a little New York Knicks, whatever. I figured I would save it because I still think the Celtics are going to win. The series price is still absurd. Everything's going to be fine. He also needs
to have a victory lap, though, because he is the one that called the T-Wolves to knock out the Warriors.
Fair.
Sorry, the Lakers, rather.
The Lakers,
They have the Warriors tonight in game one, so it's perfect timing.
Right. We can talk about that. I wore the Pirates stuff because you remember when Skeens Day used to be a thing?
Yeah.
You remember, like, it wasn't that long ago. This is my spring training hat. This is one of my Pirate spring training purchases. They're favored today over the Cardinals in St. Louis. What? We'll do better to book it right now in the middle of the show, which I absolutely love, these little tweaks and changes that we're making here to the show. If you guys, again, if you like them, go to the website, thebvbshow.com, join the Discord. While you're here, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. Tell someone about the show. But Skeens, Pirates, minus 115 now. It was minus 130 overnight, which I sent a text out to somebody who's responsible for that number because that's wrong. Can't be that. They can't score no runs. What are you doing?
I think there is I don't know what I want to call it. Is it a fan backlash in Pittsburgh? Like you're part of the fan base and you know people obviously in that building, let alone in that market.
Yeah.
What is the fan result? Because there were some pretty big crowds recently at the ballpark for the Pirates, but there's a lot of anger in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, Nikki from Pat's show, from McAfee. I can't. Why am I blanking on his last name right now? Nick. Forget whatever it is. He posted something yesterday. Nicky Skates posted something yesterday. There was a volunteer Pirate employee. He got in a fight with a fan, and took his belt off, to defend himself. Fan base is furious. There's WV Punch Drunk 1. He's right there, boots on the ground. Butch.
Wait, hold on. I need more explanation to this. He took his belt off like Kung Fu style? Like that's why he took his belt off?
So this guy spit on him.
Okay.
Absolute worst thing.
Disgusting.
A grown man spit on another grown man.
Yeah.
And he stepped back, and good thing he didn't have a firearm on him. Instead, he stepped back and took his belt off, took a deep breath, and then decided that he was going to slap the crap out of him, but, balled up his belt and started punching him, hitting him with the belt like they had. It was, he probably no longer is working there, I'm going to say.
Probably.
But yeah, it was, was alarming. There's a lot of things going on negative. Thank goodness that guy that fell from the wall is alive.
Right? 21 feet.
Yeah, he's alive right now.
He's
young
talking.
kid. Yeah, it's the human
Walking,
body
too.
is unbelievable.
Took his
The
first step yesterday after falling.
Yeah, so thank goodness, positive thoughts for him. But yeah, not a lot of good things going on in Pittsburgh with the baseball. Not, I mean, fan backlash. I think it's everybody backlash, media backlash. I mean, people are going at Noah. We had Noah Hiles on. He's a Post-Gazette beat writer, you know, for the Pirates, and he's like, "Look, I can't motivate the team. I'm just covering. They're coming at him, go in there and ask questions and show them, why are you doing this lineup? Why are you doing that? Get them fired up. Maybe they'll win a couple games. What are you talking about?" So yeah, it's not good.
Okay. Interesting stuff on that. I mentioned yesterday that we had new toys. We were still waiting on one extra one. We have the debut of what happened last night. Good job on a Sonic on that. And the noise is not me. That's Sonic on the temperature of that.
Cranked it up a little bit.
The volume is not on me, but what happened last night? Well, for the first time, 3 teams with 60 or more wins in the regular season all lost game 1 of the same series. If Golden State wins tonight, it'll also be the first time that the road team won all 4 games.
Wow. Game
1 of a series of a best of 7 series. Any theories as to what's going on here with the 3 top teams losing?
No, but like, think about that bet, win game 1 and win series.
Yeah.
Wiped out. I mean, like you a lot of times we've talked about that on this show. We know you guys again have put it in the chat. If you're watching the show, put those in the chat, bets, different things, whatever, be participative, you know. It seemed a lot easier to bet that with the Celtics than lay the 9-1, you know, just win game 1 and they're going to win the series, however many it takes, whatever. You got a great number. OKC, 10.5. They're not going to lose the game. They may not cover. I don't know what the hell happened to them down the stretch. I have no idea.
We'll get to that.
I think though we have to caution, like just saying that something we can put this all and roll it up in a ball and say this is why. I think each situation is unique, right?
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, I think it's fair. I think each game played out differently. Indiana pretty much led the entire game against Cleveland.
Yeah.
Boston was up by 20, and then they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn for the entire
How do you explain
quarter.
that?
We'll get to it in 1 second. And then you have what happened down the stretch where OKC had the game in control. They were up by double digits with 5 to play. And then they played the foul game, and it came back to burn them, and all the analytics. I mean, this is kind of like when baseball had the whole thing about exit velo and velocity of like your launch angle. Remember that whole thing for a long time, and everybody started striking out. So folks are now going back to being more contact type hitters. Well, the foul up 3 people had a bad night last night because all those fouls kept the game alive because you were banking on making the free throw. And then Chet Holmgren missed 2 free throws. And all of a sudden, the free throw game, you were in trouble. You were going to lose the game if one shot goes down, which it did from Aaron Gordon. So, yes, I would agree with you. I think all 3 games were unique in the way that it played out. It is stunning to see all 3 of them lose at home. However, I also think that all 3 teams that lost last night are going to win their series. And we will look back on these games and go, oh, that was fun for a moment. Because they're all going to win. They're all going to advance.
They're all going to win game 2.
Yes, that too. And look, Boston blowing that set the record for the most 3-point misses in a playoff game with 45. I mean, 45 misses is an unbelievable number for 3-point, not attempts, misses. But here's the thing. Brown goes 1 for 10 from 3. Mm-hmm. Tatum goes 4 for 15 from 3. Mm-hmm. Derek White goes 5 for 16. Porzingis poops himself, literally. And they lost by 3 in overtime.
This is true.
Like this whole victory lap thing by the New York Knicks. You guys realize what had to happen from a 4-leg, 5-leg parlay for you guys to win by 3. Not by 13, by 3. So I'm not concerned at all Like, I'm not even a little bit nervous about this series. It's one game. You're now 1-10. 1-10 against OKC, Boston, and Cleveland.
Can you explain, though, how you just keep chucking it? Like,
Well,
there's
that's on
no,
Joe
this is,
Mazzulla, right?
this is, I guess, but like at some point, you go, Jay, you would not hit the Boston Harbor if we threw you in right now. So pass the ball. Like, try to get open and make it look like you're going to shoot, but pass the ball. Like, that's what I would think the adjustment would be. Instead, the adjustment for the Celtics is just keep shooting it.
Right. Well, it's their offense, though. I mean, they're built that way. And, as a couple Boston media members say, like, the Celtics do this like once every 7 games or so. Like, if you watch the regular season, they miss everything. Like, they can't, they just miss every shot they take. and when that happens, they get beat by a team. I mean, Boston was favored. I think the biggest game that they lost this year, they were favored by 13 points, and they lost the game outright. Like, they've had these situations in the past where they
understand, but you can't be up 20 in a playoff game at home and lose, and you're up 20 in the second half.
Fair. I would agree with you. It's fair. But if you don't change your offense and all you do is, and this is where Tatum said it after the game, and I would agree with it. He said, I know we should have attacked the rim more, but did you see the looks we had? We had wide open looks that we're going to take every single time, because they're really good looks. So if we get the good look, I'm not driving to the basket. That's not the way we play. We are an analytical-based team that shoots more threes than anybody else in the history of NBA basketball.
It's fascinating.
So is that the way to win a championship? They've already won a championship. So, like, if this team did not win last year, right? If this team didn't win it last year, Missoula's getting roasted. I mean, roasted today for being dumb. You can't win a championship this way. It's coaching malpractice. But he's got the bling on his finger to go, well, last year we blew game 1s and we won the whole damn thing. So it's one game, guys. We move on to game 2. If we win 4 games in a row, hey, a gentleman's sweep is 4-1. Doesn't matter when you win that or lose that one game.
Right.
It's when that's the game we gave you. You got one. Tip of the cap. We're winning 4 more, and you're going to lose this series. My worry comes if Boston goes down 2-1. If the Knicks win their second game before Boston wins 2, then I'll go, okay, there may be a problem here. This is something to watch. This series will go 7, and Boston will have their hands full. But last night just came down to they missed 1,000 shots. I mean, they were up by 1, and Tatum took back-to-back threes. If he hits that, they go up by 4 and they win the game. But he missed both of them, like badly missed both the threes. And then they wound up going to overtime, and they couldn't even get a shot off at the end of the game because Bridges stole the basketball. Look, Knicks are hungry. They're going to play hard. And I said it last year, and I'll say it again. If Porzingis is not on the court, the Celtics team is good, not great.
Different. Very different. There's no question about it.
They're good, not great. They need Porzingis, and the fact that he had a uncomfortable stomach and a loose stomach last night, meaning he had the poops. Okay, that better be all that it was, because if it's more than that, there's a real problem there.
Yeah. Look at this. Dave's Daily Picks just said, according to the Celtics radio broadcast, when these teams last played in the playoffs 41 years ago. Wow. Only 2 players made 3-pointers, and they combined for 6 3-pointers in the first half.
I buy it. I mean, that's
a different world.
That's from Sean Grandy. So, I mean,
wow,
we've had Sean on the show before.
Sean's been on the show. It's good.
So that I mean, he's Mr. Stats. I mean, that's his calling card is to pull up stats. You're like, wait, what? And that's like, wait, what type of situation. And this is just, look, without Porzingis, and when he did play, he didn't look good, by the way, but he missed layups, he missed dunks. Like he was bad for the 13 minutes that he played last night. He was not good. But if they get him, that's the guy that goes to the rim. That's the pick and roll, the guy who rolls. Because Horford can't do that anymore. He's too old. So Porzingis is the guy that gets to the rim. He gets fouled, gets to the foul line. That didn't happen. And look, if you're in a close game and you need someone to hit a shot, Jalen Brunson is the guy in the NBA that you want if you're Knicks, if you're playing the Knicks, you do not want that guy taking the shot. He's absolute money. Absolute money. knocking down threes, knocking down big shots. He's tremendous. So playoff nerves, CBW. I don't think it was nerves. I think if it is, remember he missed 7 games with an undisclosed viral illness. They never said what it was. So the hope is it's not a relapse to whatever the hell he was dealing with during the regular season.
Right.
And like he went in and didn't come back out, which wasn't good. So the Nuggets stole game 1 last night. You made mention of it. What in the holy hell was that strategy by the Thunder? I mean, Jokic is unbelievable. I mean, I love the fact that I don't have a dog in the fight in that series and I can just watch it to enjoy Nikola Jokic. 44, 22, and 6.
Yeah.
Wilt, Shaq, Giannis, the only other 3 NBA players that ever can say they put up a line of 44 points, 22 rebounds, and 6 assists.
When you're watching it too, you're not even really aware that it's going on like that. And he's so physical. I mean, he was throwing bows. He almost got two technicals because Chet was grabbing him and he was like, "Get off me." And this, when they're running down the court, and then he took a shot and hit SGA with an elbow, just getting in position. But it looked like one of those
messages.
Hey, just happened to just catch you like that. It is fun to watch. Chris Warren just came in and said it. I love the way he plays the game of basketball. How could you not, Chris? I mean, really, that was awesome.
Yeah, 72 points, rebounds, assists. Yes,
it's unreal.
What's the number in game 2? I mean, I said it, right? I said, look, if the Nuggets are going to win the series, Jokic has to go for 40 and 20 a night. He went for 44 and 22. Right. he game 1, so far so good. He goes for 44 and 22, and they have no answer. I mean, OKC has no answer for him because they have nobody of the size that can handle him. When they were switching the pick and rolls last night, they were putting guards on him. Like, what are you doing? Yep. You can't put a guard on Jokic. But I mean, he hit.
What do you think of the OKC uniforms?
Awful.
Why? Like, why? I mean, you got the coolest, the orange and the blue and all that other stuff. And you went with what? Like, I turned on the TV and I go, wait, where are they playing this game at?
Yeah.
What was that?
The fans, I didn't like the fan look either. What they put the fans in looked strange. Didn't like any of it. It was bad mojo all the way around.
I thought so too.
And then Gordon took a 3. He didn't need a 3. Westbrook has been great. Like, this version of Russell Westbrook has been really interesting. The fact that he took the basketball and didn't go hero ball, instead made the right call, the right play, the open look, giving it up to Gordon to be the hero. I was like, okay, Russell Westbrook, we've matured. We're growing up. This is awesome.
Yeah.
But you're down 1. You don't need a 3. Took a 3. He hit it. Okay. But if he misses that shot, you're like, go to the basket. Like, you're Aaron Gordon. Go to the basket.
We can ask Jay why. That'll be one of the questions we ask him. Why did he take a 3? But I mean, sometimes it's just in the natural flow of the game, right? Like, it just comes down to the end. I got to shoot it. I'm open. I don't care if I'm in a 2 or a 3. I'm hitting it, knocks it down, and Denver's up 1-0. Because Denver, which one is more concerning if you have a ticket on the favorite?
Okay,
Denver, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, see, you have a championship pedigree team. I mean, that's what we talked about yesterday. The fact that the Knicks were being treated the same way as the Nuggets is a joke. The Nuggets being -8 or the Thunder being -820 and Boston being -900. Like, those two opponents are not the same. The Knicks and the Nuggets are not the same. We've got an MVP candidate. We have a championship caliber team. I know the coaching staff change is a big deal, and I know that Adelson's unproven and whatnot, but you still have Murray, you still have Jokic, and you still have a very good core in Denver up against an OKC team that has never done it.
Yeah.
They're young. They've never done it. Hard to kick out a veteran team like the Nuggets. And now they've won once. They've got home court now. Let's get into it because I've been loving to hear what Jay was going to say about this. He is the one and only coach joining us here on the Bostonian versus the book.
Looking very fluorescent too.
How are you, sir? Welcome back to the program. Good to see you.
Good to be on with you guys. Definitely some interesting games in the NBA, right? Sunday, Monday. But if you really peel back, I don't know where I said this on Sports Grid, but I just had concerns with these teams that just weren't challenged enough in the first round. The game one is the pickoff spot. Now, did I think that Cleveland and Denver and the Knicks were going to win game ones? No. Did I think the lines were way out of whack? Yes. But it sets up interesting spots with all three of them at home and must-win situations and different reasoning, right? Cleveland, what's about the health? Like, are they going to start to doubt themselves because we talk about OKC not being there? Well, Cleveland hasn't even been out of the first round. So, they are definitely, going to feel the pressure. OKC, well, now you're the hunted. And you're going against the best player in the world. And Mark Daigneault, let's be honest, there were the ending of the game. I don't know what was more stupid. The fouling, so you can get Jokic back on the floor, which I'm maddening. And me as a coach, when Chet misses the second free throw, it's a fucking transition. I'm as a coach saying, you got to get everyone even or below the ball.
Yeah.
You got to get. And if you look at it closely, guys, it was a trick. And the crazy thing was, you're right. It was a transition three. I'm like, whoa, oh, okay. I get what you're going, Aaron Gordon. But still, the fact that was a transition off a foul shot is the one part that nobody's talking about. That is indefensible. That is lack of hustle. That's not coaching. That's lazy ass defense by OKC.
I asked just before you came on, more concerning, if you have a ticket on OKC to win this series, or if you have a ticket on the Celtics to win a series, which one are you?
I'm a Knicks fan. I'm more concerned if I have OKC.
Yeah.
Because when you look at it, OKC had not got tested down the stretch of the season, right? And
57 of their games were won by double digits.
So, but it's also a little bit concerning with Boston because I think the recipe is like I heard Brian Windhorst, who's I can't even tell you what I think about him sometimes. Don't call this a 2-15 seed, but when you're the favorite and you're supposed to win, when games get close, you get tight. And all that you want to do if you're the Knicks or Denver is get it to the end. Because not just the fact that you're playing tight. Let's be honest. The best closer in the NBA right now is Jalen Brunson. Based off statistics.
He is him.
And it shouldn't even have got to overtime because how they got a backdoor runner off glass that would hit every part of the rim and got out. I thought the Knicks lost the game then. I'm like, all right, Boston, turn the switch on. Here we go. Yeah. And then you have Nikola Jokic. And I'm thinking about Daigneault, and I'm saying to myself, where's the double team? Where is the get the ball in hands? You even saw at least Boston try to adjust, right? Not switching, stuff like that. But I thought Boston's players lost them game one. I felt like Oklahoma City's staff lost game one. Big difference.
Jay, when we talked about Indiana and Cleveland a little bit, and you made mention of the injury situation, and the line will tell you that, and at shoot around today, Hunter, Garland, and Mobley were not there. If those three guys don't play tonight, can Cleveland win game two?
They can win game two, but my best bet's going to be over 110.5 points for Indiana. Because Indiana's they want to run. And then they're looking at less guys in the lineup. It's like when they saw Milwaukee, you're like, oh, we may have to run. We may have to run more, right? So I think you look at them getting up and down the pace. It's a critical spot for a Cleveland team because I came into the playoffs saying it's Boston, right? I thought the whole time, and if the Knicks found a way to steal it, I thought it was going to be New York over Cleveland because I get worried sometimes of that team choking spot after spot They just swapped out the coach. And Kenny Atkins is a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
Coach of the
but
year.
he was a coach of the year, which I will respectfully say it should have went to your old guy. I thought it should have went to Ime Udoka. Personally, my thoughts.
Agree.
But I thought that this is another team that just hasn't been in a spot before. And, you're going to find out a lot about Cleveland tonight. We talk about legacies, right? And James Harden, all these guys, like, they don't win this series, you're going to start looking at Spider Mitchell a little bit too about when is he going to get his team to make a deep run? When can he get his team to a finals? You're talking about him being a top 20 player in the league right now. He hasn't had a lot of playoff success either in his time, especially back in Utah.
All right, we got to give you your flowers, like the kids say. Minnesota.
Take the hat off.
Hold on. This is why I put it on. You called it. You told everybody. We clipped it. Got thousands of views. You went on and said the T-Wolves were going to beat the Lakers. And they handled them pretty easily. 5 games. Bye-bye. They're 7-point favorites tonight against Golden State. All 3 road teams won game 1. I got the Golden State hat on because I still don't have a T-Wolves hat, but I will get one. What do you think about this series? What do you think about this game? And is Ant the next guy?
He certainly is playing like it. And you have to look at guys, the fact that there is motivation with Ant. Got to remember what Steve Kerr said, we were not going to take Anthony Edwards. So Ant's probably sitting there saying, and this is a guy he's got a little Kobe in him. Like this me against the world mentality where it's like dog eat dog. You saw him jawing with his idol KD last year. You saw him jawing with LeBron this year. He's not going to be scared of the moment. And I want people to understand this. The reason why I took Minnesota, and I thought it was going to be 6. The reason why I took Minnesota over the Lakers is the height, not just the height of Rudy, but of Naz Reid, but the athleticism of the backcourt and the play, particularly of Ant Edwards and Jaden McDaniels. And that's how they crushed the Lakers. Could someone tell me how Golden State is any different, if not worse, with what they have to do? So I want people to think about this really quick. If you are Golden State, and I thought that Steve Kerr literally was grasping at straws at the end of the Houston series. He tried everything that worked, and he finally hit with Buddy Hield. Game 5, got blown out. Game 6, tried everything. Game 7, Buddy saved him. If you don't bring Kevon Looney into the starting lineup, how are you matched up? This is what I think of a coach. Okay, let's say argument's sake. Let's go, Draymond takes Rudy. Right? Not going to start Jackson, unless you start Jackson Davis, which I don't think it'll work. He goes to Rudy. So who is Jimmy Butler going to guard? So some people said to me, well, Jimmy Butler can go guard Julius Randle. Who the hell's guarding it?
Right.
Yeah.
Right? The only way they match up somewhat is, honestly, is Looney, Gobert, Randall, getting guarded by Draymond, and then Butler to Ant. That's the matchup I want to see. But then, guys, there's McDaniels, who has just accelerated in the playoffs, right? 12 points a game, huge series against the Lakers. Who guards him? Because the interesting thing is one thing you will see out of Minnesota, they're not going to let Steph beat him. And Steph, for the first time in his career, I thought Steph started to look a little bit old. He got hot. He got big shots. And
he looked mortal. He looked like a regular dude.
Well, listen, you run around and you're going to get chased around by these teams. And Minnesota has a plethora of guys. McDaniels is going to take him. Ant ain't afraid of the smoke. Conley's like 492 years old. He can still run around and chase shit for a little bit. You may put Alexander Walker. Fitch is just going to keep throwing guys at Steph. And I think this is the series where you're going to say, shit, they miss Clay. Because Clay's the one that can stretch that defense, and you can spot him up for three. And this is where you're going to actually mix also a little bit Andrew Wiggins.
What do you make of everyone's take that this Warrior team, because of Jimmy Butler, is dramatically different than the team that was really in the regular season that didn't have much success against the Timberwolves? Because I expect the T-Wolves to have a pretty, I don't want to say easy time, but I bet 6.5 today. I don't agree with, and 5. Okay. I don't agree with the line move. I don't know why everyone's saying Golden State is live tonight.
Pedigree. I mean, and the fact that everybody's jumping on the bandwagon because all of the upsets. This is different, guys. Like this is so much different. I look at this and I'm like, oh, when I think I said this to you guys when I came on. I said I thought Minnesota was going to the Western Conference Finals, and I was very, very confident because I thought whoever came out of the series with the Lakers, I thought better than the Lakers. It was a bad matchup for either team, right? Yeah. Houston or Golden State. I actually think Houston would be a better matchup for Minnesota than I think Golden State would be.
Yeah.
Too much money.
Wise. What? Well, I'm looking at it and I'm going, Jay White, the total in this game is 210. Like, high. And it seems high. I'm not, I like, you saw it in the Houston and Golden State series. They played to the under. I mean, the numbers were way off at the beginning and they finally started to come down. Mm-hmm. But I think the odds makers missed again. The number should probably be 204, 205.
Yeah, this game is a dead under.
Has to be.
Because Golden State can't. Golden State doesn't have the offensive firepower to play that way. And Minnesota is more than comfortable making this a street fight. They're more than comfortable because they're tougher. They're tougher, they're bigger, they're more athletic. If Golden State gets into a track meet, that's a death sentence for them. That's worse than them trying to slow it up. Their better chances walk it up, play it close. Minnesota, it's kind of like the other series. Home team plays tight, road team steals the game. That is going to be Steve Kerr's recipe in game number 1 tonight.
If I parlayed Celtics, Thunder, and the Cavs to win their series, do you like the bet? And who cost me? Is it the Thunder that would cost me that?
We don't know what Cleveland like that. Like I got to see what I get out of Cleveland tonight, right? If you ask me 1, 2, 3, who I think wins each series, like best thought, like best chance, least chance, and I'm a Knicks fan. It's Celtics, it's Thunder, it's Cavs, unless I know that Cleveland's healthy and then they jump over to the 2 spot.
Okay.
I think there's a lot to be said. Listen, and I want people to understand this about the Knicks game, but I've never in my life as a coach seen a team, and I've said this about Jason Tatum for years. Excuse my language. Fucking stop the pretty boy shit.
Oh,
like, stop it. Like put your head down, drive to the basket, and go. And same thing for Jaylen Brown. Drive the ball to the basket. And I'm just wondering, I'm a Knicks fan saying to myself, like, they're literally doing us a favor.
Settling for jumpers.
They're settling for jumpers. And everyone's like, oh, it's uncontested. It's uncontested. Did you see how they shot against Orlando? They didn't shoot that great against Orlando in spots.
Yeah.
And I just thought that they got very lazy. But in the New York side, I want people to understand this. The Knicks, besides Brunson, and at times OG, offensively, were not good. I mean, Hart did his thing. Cat was terrible. You got something out of Deuce, right? Mikal, except for that quarter 3, he had to put him up, 6 in overtime. Really didn't do anything offensively, right? And they missed a ton of free throws. So both teams have something to work on for game number 2. I thought it was going to be Celtics in 6. I still think it's probably Celtics in 6. But I'll tell you this much. The only thing I agree upon what Brian Windhorst said today on ESPN, this is a must-win for the Celtics. They cannot go in And if they lose game 2, you're going into the Garden, and those fucking people are going to be inebriated Saturday. That's going to be a problem. Boston's got to play well. I think they do play well in game 2.
They play better on the road too, though. Boston is a better road team than home team.
We'll see. That'll be good. JY, I know you got to go. So the last one from me, sir. WNBA is getting ready to start. There is a gigantic crowd to watch Caitlin Clark play. Are you doing the work? Have you looked at this stuff? Are you getting ready to give us I saw somebody today that I respect saying that the Indiana team is going to start out like 12-1. They're gonna just come out of the gate and go on a big run, and it might be one of those betting opportunities that I'll tell you what, the lines are soft. I mean, doughy soft in the beginning of the WNBA.
Yeah, because
it looks like a good season coming up, does it not?
It looks like a great season. You got to look at Indiana with the additions of obviously Sophie Cunningham, Natasha Howard, and DeWanna Bonner getting shooting and experience to go around Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. Also getting Stephanie White, who was the former coach of the Connecticut Sun, obviously makes them a title contender. You got to see how it integrates in Las Vegas with losing Kelsey Plum, but bringing in Jewel Lloyd. I think Jewel Lloyd is not your number 1 scorer, but the number 2 scorer behind Asia Wilson should make them intriguing. New York is going to be scary good this year again. I don't think people understand getting Natasha Cloud, who is a rugged defender. You may have 2 of the better defenders with Cloud and Lainey Hamilton on the perimeter, and then you go get Maureen Johannes, who comes back from France, who did not play last year, is going to be a really big addition. And then obviously Minnesota is going to be intriguing. But the interesting thing I'm going to say about the NBA is this. They are set up for such success, not only because the most popular player is Caitlin Clark. Guys, I'm going to say right now, the second most popular player in the WNBA is Paige Beckers because of the way of the UConn machine, right? So I expect ratings to continue to rise. I think the unrivaled thing is going to make problems for WNBA and negotiations. Look for them to go into a lockout after the season, and those ladies to make ready for this. I'm going to say something crazy. They're going to make at least 3 times the amount of money once their next deal gets in, because between Clark, Beckers, the super teams, and east to the west between Las Vegas and New York is going to really jack up the ratings. You're going to see another jump in ratings again in the WNBA this year.
But okay, I'll let you go on this. How can a league that has never made any money, that has been in the red every single year the WNBA has ever been in existence, how did they have a leg to stand on negotiating wise with the owners to lock out or to hold out and go and make 3 times the money they're making now?
Caitlin Clark. She is, guys, she is what, I hate to say this, like I'm not trying to sound racial. She is what like the black community was when Venus and Serena got to the tour, or when Tiger got to the tour. There is a whole new audience. Guys, you guys know this. You have kids. Like, I have boys that talk about Caitlin Clark. Like, the most popular worn shoe in the NBA this year in minutes played was the Sabrinas. Not the Jordans, not the LeBrons, not the D Books or the KDs or the Giannis's. It's a woman's shoe. There is a market now, and if see, here's the thing. The WNBA has got to get this right. And you saw what they did smartly. They put the Indiana Fever on literally every primetime game on national TV. Why? Because when they go to renegotiate next year, they're going to get a boatload of money. And you know who's watching that? The players.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Yes, totally agree. JY, good stuff, man. I know you got to run.
I love listening to you talk about the women's game when you get excited like that. It's almost like when you talk about the Mets. That's why I put the listening glasses.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the Mets.
You're excited about the Mets, are you?
I'm excited about the Mets. I'm excited about the Mets. I would say I'm excited about the Jets, but that'd be a fucking lie because I know they're a train wreck.
Thank you.
But you know
keep it real.
You know how Jets fans are. We're undefeated right now in May, which means until September, we're in first place. I'll see you guys.
Under.
That's Coach James Young from Sports Grid joining us here at the Bostonian versus the Book. Good to get JY back on the program as always here on BVB. Good to get him on everything. Sorry, Will.
Thank you. Sorry, Will. I mean, we'll just say it. The guy said it in the chat. Thank you. That was good. JY got it all out for all of it. That's all fine.
all of it.
But we
Yes.
love when JY comes on. He always,
as he
keeps it
said,
real.
say it with the chest, right? Just as Will
He
came
said
in,
it right there.
say it with your chest, and he absolutely
did.
said it
He
with his chest
absolutely did, yeah.
on that. I just one thing on the W, because I think it's a really interesting piece, because we've talked about.
Well,
the
I mean,
one.
we have all these women watching the show. We're going to have to talk about women's sports. I mean, it's a thing.
And
That's
I have no
happening
problem. I
all
mean,
over.
my history, my first ever professional job was the play-by-play voice of UVA women under Debbie Ryan. So I did 2 years of UMass women's basketball and then a year of UVA women's basketball. So my origin story comes from the women's game. So I have a huge respect. I ran, both my senior year and then the year after, I ran scout team for UVA and for UMass when I was the voice. I got my ass kicked. Like they beat the living hell out of me because they were. I literally remember Debbie Ryan stopping practice one time and yelling at the player for not throwing an elbow at me, saying, "Beat the hell out of him. It's why he's here. Kill him." And they did. They killed me. But like I have a hard time agreeing with what JY just said, because I know they're going to ask for 3 times as much money. And I know that Angel Reese has been on record by saying they're going to get 3 times as much money. But at the bottom line, this is a losing business and has been a losing business forever. So to ask the NBA owners to lose money even longer when they're finally seeing a profit from their investment, they got a lot of red tape or red numbers they got to make up for the previous 20 years before Caitlin Clark showed up. So there's got to be some level of compromise and some level of level-headedness here from the players, because they love. I mean, Caitlin Clark loves talking about who came before her, all the players that laid the foundation. That's true, but the owners paid for that to get to this point where you have Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers and Angel Reese and the WNBA players that are now household names. So I think a lockout is a really bad idea. But I think he's right. They're going to lock out. It's going to be a labor situation after this year.
Well, we'll see. I just know the lines are popping up on my odds screen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And I remember how hard it was to get going with this. And, you listen to JY talk about it, somebody who's, in the weeds with it. It's not just 1 or 2 teams. Like, there's going to be a competitive league now, and there's going to be lines that we're going to probably see and look at and go, that's wrong.
The Brazilian national team played Caitlin Clark in Indiana at Carver Hawkeye, and the Brazilian national team waited for Caitlin Clark to sign autographs for them. They played the game against Caitlin Clark and they asked her for her autograph. Like, that's Michael Jordan type stuff. That's Larry Bird. That's Magic Johnson type stuff.
Yes.
Where like you're looking up to this player that is generational and that everybody wants to be around. And when you play them, you're not really playing against them. You're just like watching in awe. You happen to be on the same court, but you're not playing the same game, so to speak. Yeah. So there's a lot of attention on the W, as there should be. And we'll see what the betting handle looks like, because we've talked about that forever about, all right, you have a popular women's sport.
This one won't cross over. Like it won't. We'll talk about it because, I mean, we talk about the lines and we talk about the business, but I can tell you up to this point, it hasn't. It has never crossed over where, handle just shot up because of it was that good. Or it's one of those things that they'll bet it when they see value in it, when the numbers are wrong. I'm not saying maybe the numbers are going to get better, but up to this point, they don't really touch it.
Not a lot. Oh, that was in Des Moines. Thank you. Where's that? That game, I guess, was in Des Moines. Thank you, JR. Are you sure it was in Des Moines? I thought it was at Carver Hawkeye. So I thought that was at Iowa that game got played. I could be wrong, but I know they played there on that. So I'm excited to watch it. I mean, I like basketball. It's, I don't have a problem watching UFL football. I like football. I like watching.
That UFL football.
It's all right. It's football. I like watching football. I like watching basketball. I mean, I'm not rearranging my Saturdays to watch either league, but when it's on, I'll watch it and I'll pay attention to it. And then come the playoffs, look, the Aces here are a ton of fun. I mean, the games here are a ton of fun to watch the Las Vegas Aces. And Asia Wilson's still one of the best players in the league. You still have the best coach in the league here in Vegas. So there's a ton of interest, and I'm hoping to figure out a way to get Madeline to go watch a game or two, because the games are fun. You know, she's
Yeah.
been to we went to the WNBA All-Star game when it was here 3 or 4 years ago, and she was like lukewarm with it. So hopefully maybe now is time to get into it. The one game we didn't talk about, the one series we didn't talk about, Warriors are plus 180 dogs in this series. This is the first time Golden State's been a dog in a series since 2014. That's unbelievable.
That really is.
It's a long time ago for this franchise.
Where was I? 2014. Was that when they were dogs against Dallas?
OKC, I believe it was.
Oh.
In 2014.
Huh.
And they're 6.5 point dogs
I was
tonight.
working at the M. I can't remember if we needed them or not. I have to look back and say I got to refresh my, how the series went and who they played and everything. It was probably about the time I really started to fall in love with them. I'll tell you that. They really were. They were fun to watch, and a lot of people bet them. And when things were going good, when they got good in the favored role, everybody ate. There was a lot of tips. People did well, and then when they lost, the book did well. This is one of those ones where it might have flipped. The books might really need Golden State in this spot.
I think so. Although I'm hearing a lot of Golden State love today. The line move tells you Golden State. I mean, open at 9. It's down to 6.5. It's been a steady bet. It's been a steady move to the Warriors.
Put Jay-Z from Casey's chat up. I mean, who won in the World Series?
2014.
2014. That's a loaded question. That was the Kansas City Royals. Yeah, I remember that one too. Yeah. That was good.
Yeah. Enjoy it.
It's down to 6 at Circa. It's 6.5 pretty much everywhere else. The play on the Warriors makes complete sense after what we just saw.
Everyone's going. I mean, people know that the games are different, right? Like just because it happened last night doesn't mean it happens tonight, right?
Well, I say that all the time. Everything's completely unrelated.
What are we doing? Why are you betting? Why are you betting the Warriors tonight against the Wolves just because of what happened with the Knicks game last night? That has no bearing. No. I don't understand. I mean, again, let it go. I'm waiting. I haven't bet it yet. I'm taking the 6. Like, let me get the best number I can get here on the T-Wolves. This is going to be your classic CLV can. Take all the points you want, and then the Wolves are going to win by 10. And you're going to be like, oh.
There was a lot of people that had 8s and 8.5s yesterday on all the games, on both games. On Celtics, to close 9, 9.5. They had 8.5, 9 on Thunder, closed 10.5. I mean, just
didn't matter.
Goes right to can, just like the other ones.
And by the way, like we talked about yesterday, if you can bet it right now, the books have put it up. They did not adjust the number for Boston's first half team total. It was 56.5.
Is that what it is again?
57.5. Right back. It's right back to the same.
How did they score in the 60s in the first half, and then in the second half with OT they only scored in the 40s?
Because Tatum hit shots. The starters shot 30% from behind the arc in the first half. In the second half, they shot even worse. That's how. So, but first half team total Boston over game 2 tomorrow night. Look, it's already up. Just go bet it. It's the books aren't adjusting.
Can you watch this show on YouTube on 1.25?
Yes.
Live?
Live? I don't know.
I didn't know on replay you can. See, Myers just said he's 45 minutes behind, but he's catching up via the 1.25 on the live.
Yeah, I believe you probably could. I mean, you can do it recorded. I don't know if you could do it live.
Yeah, no.
I know you can do it recorded.
Yeah, it is.
One hockey game from last night before we get to better to book it. William Nylander, 2 goals. Toronto takes game 1, 5-4 over Florida. Game flies over.
Canada!
Flies over. They almost blew it though.
Jeez, did they? Well,
they had the game in control, and it was all of a sudden it was butt clinching time, and then they scored the 5th goal, and it gave them some breathing room.
It did. Couple things. Perfect start. They get the first goal, the building explodes.
55 seconds.
I mean, you couldn't have written a better script. And then they kept pressuring them. They looked faster. That was exactly what the doctor ordered for them. And then elbow. Stolars, the goalie's out. He's thrown up on the side of the bench. I mean, it's just bad news. It's terrible what sometimes happens in these playoff games. At the end of the game,
no suspension, no extra penalties for that play.
I mean, it was in the course of being in the crease and stuff, the Bennett thing, the thing that really I saw today, and Gabe texted me or tweeted at me and tagged me and stuff, so I saw it and I watched it 10 times, was when Kachuk was going after Marner at the end. These are skill guys, and you're running them like without the puck. Literally, Kachuk tried to leg trip him first and then turned around, tried to cross-check him in the back when he wasn't looking. I can't fucking stand when the NHL lets this happen. Like, I can't fucking stand it. I saw it when the Penguins got good and like the Rangers would take liberties with Lemieux and all this other stuff. We were in the crowd. I wanted to jump on the ice without my gear on and go tackle somebody. So I'm watching it going, they're doing it again. Now, this is how you win in hockey. You intimidate the other team and you play physical, but you don't get dirty and cheap. And that's what they were doing. The line is higher for game 2. The Panthers are going to, it's one of those things that it's set up now for them to win with the backup goalie in for the Maple Leafs. I'm terribly nervous for that. There's people saying, like, you remember Reeves, the guy that played for the Knights?
Yeah. Uh-huh. And the Rangers, yeah.
Yeah. They want him to start and go after all, like, and just, go after everybody and settle some scores.
In the playoffs, though. Ooh.
I don't know if that's the way.
Yeah, it's tough.
I really don't know if that's the way. But at some point, Marner's got to turn around and just stand up for himself. Like somebody's got to, like one of these guys. I don't want him to because I don't want him to get in a fight. But like at some point, really elite players have had to do it, and you have to just let them know, like, look, you can try, but you'll do it in the course of the game, not cheap shots when I'm not looking and all this other stuff. That's the one thing about the hockey that just drives me nuts. Now, I understand the physicality and the intimidation and setting the tone for the next game, but do it in the course of the game. It was great. Listen, I love the hockey. We're going to have 2 really good hockey games tonight, too. Going to be great games tonight.
Game 2 is going to be, I don't know. We'll talk about Carolina in a second, but I don't know if Carolina is going to be a great game. We'll see.
I think it's a dead under. I think it's going to be electric from the start where it's going to be tight. It might be boring to some.
Which is fine. I like having.
Hold on. You froze with your eyes closed and you were talking about liking it tight. That's the last thing you said. I'm just saying, pause. Now you're back. Snap your fingers. Go.
I would say I need to see the Capitals and what they're going to look like in this series.
Don't we all?
Yeah, I need to. Before I'm going to go like I want to watch that. I'm going to watch it, but before I get excited about watching it, I got to see what the Capitals look like against the Hurricanes because they're not expected to win this series, and some think it's going to be kind of a quick series. So I want to see what Game 1 looks like for the Capitals tonight.
Quick?
Up against some people think it's quick. Yeah, that this is going to be
anything about this is going to be quick.
All Carolina pedigree, style of play, all unders, 2-1, 3-1 type finals. Shut down Ovechkin. Don't take penalties. Don't give that power play any chances. Caps can't score.
Oh, I mean, okay, but Carolina's going to score.
Well, that's how they play, though. 2-1, 3-1. That's how they play. They're more comfortable playing that style.
I'd have this
boring. Grind it. All 5s?
The Carolina-Washington total is 5.5, and it's over -130 right now because of what's going on in the NHL. Like, right. I get it. But this screams old school to me. This screams, unless there's a lot of power plays. Like I think Carolina's going to score on the power plays. I don't know how many even strength goals are going to be tonight. I really don't. Like this is old school. Eastern Conference physical. Don't take chances. Brindamore's such a good coach. And he's on the road, so he got to change first. He's gonna, keep them reined in, I think, and just go. Listen, let's get to the end of the first period tied. I'm good.
Better play is Carolina money line or under 5.5.
For me, it's under. Because I still think Washington can win, and they made the road team the favorite yesterday. It didn't work out so well. Making a road team the favorite again in this one. I mean, there's going to be electricity in that building. By the way, I retweeted Scott Van Pelt today. He said, I have a shirt from the team, Capitals jersey, with my name on the back. Should I wear it to the game tonight or no? He should not. Why?
I'm not a jersey person. You know this.
Oh, I know that. But like he said, I'm not on the team.
Yes,
So
don't wear it.
So don't wear it.
I have rules. I'm not a jersey person, but I'm also somebody that says you can't wear a jersey with your own name on the back or the jersey of somebody who is younger than you.
Oh.
You can wear, like, I can wear a Bird jersey, or I could wear like a Magic Johnson jersey or a Jordan jersey or whatnot because I'm younger, because they're older than I am. But I can't wear like an SGA jersey.
Oh,
not, like I can't go and wear like a, you know,
can you wear a blank Oklahoma jersey though?
Yeah. But I don't do jerseys anywhere. Like I just don't do jerseys.
Yeah.
But when I see jerseys, when I see like a 50-year-old guy wearing a college basketball jersey, I'm like, oh goodness gracious! Like, what are we doing? Like, this is like, what are we doing?
I get it. I
mean, you're a jersey everything. You don't.
Since the stroke, I don't care. Like I just wear the jerseys. Like when I was growing up, you know, I was still playing and stuff. I didn't really wear jerseys a lot to the games. I had them, but I wore them like, you know, to school or just wear them. But I don't know. I really look. There's Train. Robert Palziani just came in and said it. When push comes to shove, Carolina can't score a big goal or win a big game, in my opinion. But what do I know? LOL. Train, I'm with you.
But in this series, I think they can, though.
We'll see.
So
we'll see.
We'll see how.
This is going to be.
I think Carolina wins tonight. I think.
All right, I'm on Washington. Put it in the chat, boys and girls, hockey heads. Just type who you think wins tonight.
I think
Carolina or Washington. CARWAS.
Let's get to the second game tonight. So the second game tonight.
By surprise with that better.
The second game tonight.
Let's get to the second game tonight. There's the stinger. Whoa.
Better to book it. Over 6.
I don't know if this is good. You controlling all these buttons and then adding to the board.
I think it's great. This is fun. Over 6. Vegas and Edmonton tonight. Game 1 of their Western Conference series. Open 6.5. Bet down to 6. I'll take this shot at a 4-2 final push or a 4-3 final, because I don't think Edmonton, even though 3 of the 4 games that have been played between the Oilers and the Golden Knights have gone under 6.5
right
here this year so far. 4-2 was one of the finals in the games, but 1-0
final tonight.
It was 1-0 here in Vegas.
Yeah.
Previously in one of the 4 games.
So the total is 6.5 over -130, pretty much universal right now.
Oh wow, went back up. Okay,
at every joint. Like I don't see any 6s.
Good. There were 6 last night.
Juice is heavy. 25, 20 to the over.
So was that a head fake? What was the reasoning behind that? Because it went from 6.5 to 6.
Know.
It was universal 6 last night, and now it's 6.5 back up to the opener.
Wow. I don't know. Do we have who's playing? Is there a goalie change?
No.
Is it Hill and Picard?
As far as I know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Drive it to 6 and then hammer it down when they open.
There's not really too many head fakes in the hockey. I mean, they do that in the basketball, but they don't really do that in the hockey. You don't see it too often.
It's a big difference. 6.5 to 6 is a big difference to me, though.
Oh,
it's huge. I mean, 1 gives me protection. I have a push potential versus a loss.
Right. How in your right mind can you say you like the under in this game?
6.5, I can see it. I mean, I think 4-2 final was really likely.
I think it is too.
So that's why I bet it, because like, all right, give me a free run at 4-2 over, and we get 1 open net 5-2 final, but I get a push, and it's just I get to watch the game. And I think I'd be very surprised if this is a very, a 2-1, 3-2 type hockey game.
Yeah. I think 1 point of caution. Picard confirmed. Thank you, Butchie. Hill expected. Yeah, he better play. Is to caution what you've seen from Edmonton, because they played LA and the way those games went, I think is an automatic thought that, that'll carry over to the over. I don't think Vegas wants to play that game. I think Vegas is going to want obviously they score first and things are going to get real tight as far as ice. And then it'll be a matter of staying out of the box, but not going into a shell. If Vegas gets a lead, they're going to still play their style, unlike the Kings, who just literally went back to the red line or their own blue line and let them just go get the puck and come up with speed. Vegas is going to play more physical, and they're going to stay on them like that. I like under. This is a book it for me. I think under.
That's
6.5.
But that would be power plays. Yeah, 6.5 under. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
6.5 under over 6. And if you get a fluky goal, you get a misplay by a goaltender or heavy power plays on both sides, it goes over. So I took 6 last night. It's 6.5 now. I don't mind you saying under 6.5 because I think it's a 4-2 final. I bet it with the thought of a 4-2 final and then potentially an open net goal with a 5-2 final. And the game really should have gone under, but it goes over just because. I have 9. Pacers plus 9. That number's gone. I took it last night because Hunter, Mobley, and Garland were not at shoot around this morning. So all 3 are game time decisions, and all 3 could be out tonight for the Cavs. And if those 3 are out, you're talking about the defensive player of the year in the NBA and Evan Mobley, a key cog off the bench, and one of the best guards that the Cavaliers have not playing in this game, and they already lost game 1. They didn't have Garland in game 1, and they lost game 1. Now they're without Mobley, another starter, and Hunter, a key defensive piece for them to come off the bench. So severely, Cavs may win the game, but I don't think they cover 9 tonight.
Yeah, I don't think you lay it. I think you take it. And as we've preached on this show since its inception, which is
in-game,
you believe going on 4 years. Yeah, the in-game number, you go in with a plan and you take the big number first.
Yeah.
And then maybe look to get the Cavs at a shorter number or just ride the Pacers to another win at plus money and plus points. I don't know. Would you still play Pacers plus 8, Nicky Ciarmello?
Yeah, I would.
Think so.
I think 8's good.
So.
7.5 worries me. 7 worries me. But I think plus 8, and again, it's the same strategy, right? You have 8 going in, and then at some point during the game, you'll probably get to lay 1 or 2, or maybe take 1 or 2 with Cleveland. And you can go and sit there with a 10-point middle. I mean, I think that's how I'm approaching this game tonight. And so I have 9. So I'm trying to look for the Cavs -1 or Cavs even, at a pick or whatever, and take Cleveland to win the game. So, and just look and see what happens. So that's how I'm playing it. So I like 8 because I think you still have a chance to have that 10-point middle.
Sprained thumb, sprained toe, sprained ankle for Hunter, Garland, Mobley. It just popped
and that
up on my
thumb,
screen. Wow.
That thumb on Hunter that's no joke. He popped that back into place during the game.
Could they actually lose? Could the Cavs actually lose tonight?
Yes, they can lose this game tonight. Absolutely. And then
you're going electric is Indiana going to be on game 3 if they're up 2-0?
Woo, baby! Look out! Yeah, look out! And that's tremendous. I think Indiana's got a chance. I mean, they win. They're up 2-0 to none. I don't want to say the series is over, but if the Cavs don't get healthy, because like JY said, they haven't done it either. They're like the Thunder. Cleveland hasn't proven that they can make a run either. This season kind of came out of nowhere for them to be this good, to have the 1 seed, to be where they were. Atkins is the coach of the year. I mean, this was all sort of unforeseen. They thought they could be good, but not this good. And to get bounced by Indiana, a team that's had success in the playoffs, and Halliburton becoming a legitimate superstar in the NBA in the process. Okay, let's go. Give me the Pacers +9 tonight.
Wow. Okay.
To baseball, a couple of overs I like. I'm going right back to Cubs and Giants. 9-2 final last night. It's Verlander going to the hill for the Giants tonight. Cubs just keep on scoring a ton of runs at home. The number's now 10-4-1 to the over for the Cubs. Giants are 14-4-1 to the over on the road.
And I'll be the book guy and say tonight's going to go under. Because I said yesterday, I asked you in my version of better to book it. I said,
You're
Cubs,
right.
better to book it. We said, yes, we're good. But I said, we'll get the Cubs team total over but won't get the Giants to score. Well, that was right, but the Cubs team total flew over. They covered the over themselves.
Yep.
It's one of the best lineups in baseball.
It is.
I'm telling you, I don't know who needs to hear it, but every single day, I'm getting closer to saying the division's done. Like, they're going to win the division. The Reds are going to hang around. Milwaukee hopefully will work out whatever they're going to work out and be there. But the Pirates and the Cardinals ain't going to challenge them. I don't think so. So I'll say under, but
okay.
I'm not loving it.
Cubs, Giants over 7.5. And finally,
sidewise, who wins that game?
Cubs.
I think so. Yep.
Over 9.5. A's and Mariners.
Bet it. Just bet it. I can't wait to go to Sacramento to see this in person myself. This looked like it was dead under yesterday.
A's 4-4 in the fourth. It was 4-4 in the fourth.
Yeah, but it was. It's. There's no way it's that. I mean,
just keeps.
You're going to have to start putting double digits there at home.
And the pitchers that got both teams going tonight are no bueno. So it's equally going into this where you're like, oh boy.
Hancock and Springs. Okay, yeah.
Cubs are going to win today.
Hey, Chicago. What do you say? The Cubs are going to win today. Thank you, Jackoff.
Play the song. Play the song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dave was on the A's. Did the A's win?
Yes, they did. They came
won.
back and won in extra innings.
But it went over.
Perfect.
So it's good.
Like them again today.
Yep. They're hot. The A's are red hot. And the Mariners score.
Baseball. They really are. They're playing good baseball. I mean, they literally have the third best record in baseball since April 15th. And it's May 6th. So it's a 20-game sample size.
And the Mariners are 20-12-2 to the over so far this year. Mariners are scoring. A's are scoring. We go always a walk-off for the A's. Okay. And nice little W there for them. Time for our prop bet of what?
I got one for you sidewise.
Okay. Sure.
I'm going to try to look at the board and throw one or two at you for the people because you guys like these different things that we look at. The Pirates are favored today. Let me just say that again. I'm going to say it slower for the people that are watching. The Pittsburgh Pirates are favored today at St. Louis. Paul Skeens is pitching. The total is 7. The Pirates are favored. If I say the Pirates, are you betting it or booking it?
Booking it. It's your bullpen. It's not Skeens. It's your bullpen.
They're a go against until further notice, without a doubt. Although they have a winning record. Well, now it's 9-9 against teams that are under 500, 3-15 against teams with a winning record. The Cardinals would qualify as the first one.
Yeah.
But Liberatore is, in my opinion, a guy who you look to play. No. You play on like with St. Louis. No, right now, last two starts been pretty good.
Okay.
So
he's scary. I just need the Cardinals to be a 500 baseball team. I bet they're over 76.5.
You're gonna have trouble getting there.
It's gonna be interesting. We'll see what happens.
Have trouble getting there. Yeah. But you said they just laid 115 with the Pirates. Good luck with that. They're gonna bet you the Pirates anyway.
Yeah.
So if we're booking it, we're letting them bet it. That's fine. Get it back up there and see if they play it again. The other one is the total in the where is it? Oh, Red Sox, Texas, Evaldi and Giolito. The total is 8.5. Over or under? You like under?
Only because Giolito was really good his last start out for the Red Sox.
6 pitch, 6 innings, 3 earned. Yep.
And then what was the final score? Like 5-3 or 4-3?
I can't remember, but he did pitch well.
He was well. And so I think they'll probably – the Rangers' offense is really good, though. That's the one problem.
Well,
Red Sox are scoring. They are the best first – bet the Red Sox first 3 innings over. They score more runs than anybody in baseball in the first 3 innings. And then the second time and third time through the lineup, they don't score against anybody.
Yeah.
And then their bullpen has blown 8 saves so far. That's tied for the most in Major League Baseball. So they are one of the best first 5 baseball teams, money line, in all of baseball, and one of the worst in terms of after the 5th inning.
Texas is, I believe, 16-2 to the under in their last 18 games. They cannot hit.
No, their offense stinks
at all.
Yeah.
So I was just curious what you thought. I think under as well.
Yeah,
okay.
I would say under because Giolito pitched well and Texas can't hit. So yeah, Texas team under, best under team in the league at 11-24. They don't score, but the Red Sox bullpen is junk. Yes, I would agree with that. That's the fear. So maybe first 5 under to go with that if you want to play that, or Red Sox in the first 5, you can play that. But full game Red Sox right now is a roller coaster ride. It's a white knuckler. If you're going to bet the under, any first full 9 inning bet with the Red Sox is an absolute roller coaster ride.
I got one more too for the Kansas City people, especially you, JC from KC. And again, thank you to MLB.com. I get this stuff from them. They do an unbelievable job with the research department. Kansas City Royals have won 12 of 14 games dating back to April 20th. That's the best record in the majors in that span. Kansas City has allowed just 31 runs in those 14 games, easily the fewest in Major League Baseball in that stretch. Kansas City has won 13 of 14 versus Chicago White Sox since the start of last season, outscoring them 69-23 in those 14 contests. They're minus 205 right now. I don't know what to tell you. A lot of people get that uncomfortable lay. That ain't even that uncomfortable.
No, bet. Here's your 2-leg money line parlay for the day. Bet the Royals to win today at home, and then bet anyone else, if you want, that's playing the Rockies.
Oh,
just find the Rockies and find it. The Royals are the hottest team in baseball. Bet the Royals, fade the Rockies. Whoever the Rockies are playing, there's your 2-leg money line parlay today if you'd like.
You know, it's funny. They're playing the Tigers.
Yep.
And Tigers are on the road.
It's your AL Central parlay today if you want it.
And Job is pitching. But I become really, it's crazy how Clint Hurdle and I are becoming like text buddies. It's bizarre. And he's on the staff with Colorado. And our last text exchange said, can't wait to meet you. I said, can't wait to meet you as well. I finished his book. I'm going to give him a nice book review at one point here. But told him we got to have him on the show. I don't know what I would ask him. What do you ask the guy that's now like the hitting coach of a team that has 6 wins? Not sure.
Yeah, he may decline that.
Right? Like I want to talk to Clint about the book. I want to talk about, coaching the Pirates and managing the Pirates and all that other stuff. And like maybe the first time you were managing the Rockies and it was an unbelievable run. And what do you say now? Chef Benny, Kansas City, Dodgers, Detroit, Atlanta. Who loses?
Braves have a tough game. Don't the Braves have a tough? Who are the Braves playing? That's a tough game, right?
Cincinnati and Abbott. Abbott could pitch a gem against them and keep him down. That might be one of those sale losses where he pitches great. They lose 2-1. I think that's the worry for me. The Dodgers shouldn't lose. Kansas City shouldn't lose. Detroit essentially shouldn't lose. So for me, it's Atlanta. I don't know. You guys put it in the chat. You guys are watching. There's almost 100 of you in here right now watching live. Give Chef Benny the loser. The Reds did only have 1 hit last night. My God, Johnny.
But speaking of the Reds, our prop bet of the day today. So he's been ice, and I know what you're going to say, but before this, he was red hot.
Red hot.
Elly De La Cruz.
Oh, boy.
Over a half a base today at minus 160 against the Braves. It's Chris Sale, who Ellie's not been bad against. He can go up and bet right-handed up against Sale. I just need 1 base for Elly De La Cruz. He's gotten 1 hit or 2 hits in the last 5 games. It was in 1 game. He had it. I need a hit.
Walks don't count.
The walks don't count. I need a hit.
Right.
I need Elly De La Cruz to give me a base hit. Just get on base. 1 single, and we're good. Better to book Elly De La Cruz.
Oh, you're laying 160 and the guy against Sale. What I'm saying. Yeah. Enjoy that.
We're with Elly.
But no, I'd take that bet in a second.
So
I got one for you.
By the way, 11 of the last 15 games, he's gone over this number. It's just 1 time in the last 5, but he was red hot for the 10 games prior to that. He was red hot. He didn't have a hit last night against the Braves. They lost 4-0 to Atlanta.
Wow.
Elly to get a hit today.
Gonsolin, K's under against Miami. I don't think he goes. I think it's 4.5. It might be 5. It was somewhere shop around for
Interesting.
that. Yeah. I think he goes like 1 through the order once.
Yeah, how many? That would be my question. How many innings is he going to get? Because
That's the play.
they're babying all of their pitchers.
Correct.
So
That's the play.
And he could have a big lead.
So somebody, if you're watching the show live right now, find that Tony Gonsolin K prop for the Dodgers tonight at Miami. I think it's an under.
Interesting. Speaking of the Dodgers. Ohtani watch for us. Ohtani still loves Miami, and he still loves that damn ballpark.
Yeah.
His home run last night was the hardest hit ball and the hardest hit homer in Major League Baseball history. Major League Baseball this season. Exit velocity of 117.9 miles per hour.
Just can we just clip something that says Ohtani every day so we can blow up over in Japan, because a lot of people are watching the show in different countries. I don't ever want him to pitch. I don't need him to pitch. I'm good. That was amazing. I don't know. I am not as impressed with the exit velocity stuff as a lot of people are.
Okay, fair.
I know when a ball is hit hard, and it's fun to like look.
Well, they
and
said
measure
it sounded different in the ballpark.
Yeah, I guarantee
it was the biggest. It was the biggest crowd of the year, which was only about 15,000 people, by the way. But it was the biggest weekday crowd, I should say, biggest weekday crowd of the year in Miami for Shohei. But the upper deck, the second and third deck, there was nobody there. So, but the ball got hit, and everybody in the ballpark was like, "What the hell was that?" Because it sounded different when it left the bat. Because it was Alcantara, who can throw pretty hard, straight fastball in a fastball count, and he hit the thing to the moon.
Yeah.
117.9 mile per hour hit.
Wow. That's
See ya. Zoo. Goodbye.
I still haven't I saw him one time in Anaheim, but like I gotta see him.
I'll never forget the home run that I saw him hit at Wrigley Field. It literally was a
saw a person. That's right. Yeah.
flip of the wrist. It was the ball shouldn't have left the ballpark. It should not have. It was as he was completely fooled by an off-speed pitch, and he just flicked the wrist, and the ball sailed out of the damn building, out of Wrigley, over the right field fence, over into the street. And I was like, this guy's different. Like this is not normal.
It's fascinating when you see it in person.
Yeah. He's damn good.
He's
damn good.
Is he hit another one tonight?
Yes. That was almost my prop bet. I was almost going to do that, but it's so fluky from a prop bet perspective that I was like, I just can't.
The price is so unfair.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the easiest price to make. I get asked that question all the time. Dave, how do you make the lines? Something like this. Well, what was it yesterday? It's worse today. So if it was, minus 120 yesterday, it's minus 150 today. Can't make a guy minus money to hit a home run, but if they're going to bet you that, why not?
He loves this ballpark. This is the ballpark in which he had that ridiculous 8-for-8 game. This is the ballpark. He has destroyed Miami. He loves, this is his favorite park to hit in Major League Baseball. For whatever reason, he loves Miami. So tonight, he's going to have another big game just because he's Ohtani and he's going up against bad pitching. That's the best pitcher they've got. And he did that against them last night. So it's all downhill for Miami after that for Ohtani. So, yeah, it should be a good night tonight. You posted this, and so I thought it would be fun to kind of talk about this here a little bit. Question time for the book. What's the worst sports loss of your life you've ever felt, whether you had a bet on it or not? Here is yours. In the world, in the NLCS between the Pirates and the Braves.
Yeah, 1992.
But explain this as to why this became your tweet today.
So, I saw Damashek was talking about it, I guess, on his show, and every time I see it, brings up old wounds because I was at Penn State 1992 watching the game at the fraternity house with a bunch of Philadelphia people in their room, with the door locked because all the people that weren't from Pittsburgh were rooting for the Braves just to root against us.
Okay.
So they were doing the tomahawk chop, and I had gone home for all the games in Pittsburgh. So I was driving like 2.5 hours, 3 hours, go to the game, have, dinner at my house with my mom and dad, go to the baseball game, and then drive back. So Was totally all in with every game. And this was in October. So, I mean, this was like I was in the middle of semester. Dad, I'm not missing none of these games. Stan Belinda comes in for the 9th. I call my dad and say, do we have the World Series tickets? Yes. All right. Perfect. I can't wait. Just get 3 outs. We just need 3 outs. Yes. You know, you and your brothers and me will go. Okay. And Chico Lean, the second baseman, makes his second error of the season. Second error of the season. He had 2 errors also. It's unbelievable. Stan Belinda gets pinched. Guy gets on. Bonds don't move when Van Slyke tells him. Cabrera comes in, the pinch hit, hits a single. Sid Bream, the slowest human being in Major League Baseball at the time, who played in Pittsburgh and was a fan favorite, slides in and scores the run. Little did I know that other than 2013, 14, and 15, when the Pirates would get in and play one wild card game each time, they haven't been in the playoffs since. So, yeah, it hurts a lot. It's still, sorry, Will, it still fucking hurts. So I said, you know what? I'm going to put this out there for people. And we talked about it on Sports Grid. My Twitter blew up, but thousands of responses, and people brought it up. They mentioned, you know, the Yankee fans mentioned the Red Sox comeback, the 4-game comeback, how bad it hurt them.
Best sports moment of my life.
One of the best of all time, whether you're a Red Sox fan or not. It was awesome.
But I mean, my worst is at the hands of the Mets. So I mean, New Yorkers got me back on that. That's my worst.
86
Buckner is my
is
worst.
yours. That's it.
Yeah, 9-year-old me is sitting there watching the Red Sox, thinking they're going to break the curse. Finally, they've got a chance to win in Game 6. And then Mookie Wilson rolls the ball down right field, and the rest is history. And, you know, Ray Knight scores the run. Red Sox lose Game 7, and they lose the World Series. That was, I thought that was going to be the story of my life for the rest of my life, because that January I had watched the Super Bowl where the Patriots got annihilated by the Bears, but they weren't supposed to be there. The difference between the Red Sox and the Patriots that year is the Red Sox were good. They were Roger Clemens and Bruce Hurst and Rich Gedman, and they were good. Mike Greenwell, like that, Wade Boggs, like that was a squad. They had a good group of guys. The Patriots were the first team ever to go on the road and win 3 straight playoff games on the road as a wild card team. Like they weren't supposed to be there in the Super Bowl. So getting killed, that was a participation trophy type of event. That was like, okay, well, they got there. That's great. Like the Bears are an all-time great, and the Bears kicked their teeth down their throat. But like, you know, 45-10 wasn't that shocking given how the Patriots got there. Red Sox having the World Series in their back pocket.
Oh, there's a second freeze. So we're at 2, boys and girls, if you're keeping track for the bingo card. Bingo Tuesdays here on BVB. Thank you.
You're back?
Yeah, we're back.
So that was, I mean, by far. And then obviously the Tyree catch, the David Tyree.
Okay. That was
number 2.
Was mentioned by some people following. You know,
number 2.
That was a tough one. But I mean, like PB reached out and said that one. And I was like, they won every game prior to that, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, calm down.
Yeah. I mean, 18-0, thinking you were going to make history and dethrone the stupid Dolphins. That was, I mean, we all wanted that simply because we were sick to death of the Dolphins popping champagne.
Well, I mean, that is just fact of everybody. That's not just you guys.
So we wanted it. We wanted him gone. That's what we wanted. Yeah. Look at Linus. He says it was Sunday night was his worst loss. Whoa.
I mean, there's some great ones being thrown about in the chat. Like I see the bomber, Brent Lalonde, Cleveland, anything Cleveland. I opened up some old wounds for the Shrew, talking about the drive and the fumble and the and the that. And then, when the Indians were the Guardians or the Indians and they lost, there's Jimmy Football with Fab 5, the Weber Phantom timeout versus North Carolina. I mean, those are just like those ones when they leave a mark like that. There's the drive from Lalonde. Yeah. Johnny Parlay. The Penn State choke versus the Buckeyes. That was no good. That was no good at all. Thanks for bringing that up. It's funny when you forget about some of them and then you remember, oh my, I remember right where I was. All the Super Bowl, all the Niners Super Bowl L's, Jordan P. I mean, they weren't that bad, were they?
How many have
they've won so many?
Niners have lost
Like-
what, two? They've lost?
Yeah, I mean,
Joe went 4-0, and then Young went 2-0, right?
yeah.
So
Well,
there's-
he won to beat
won
the
or two.
Chargers, and then he beat
They because they lost in the blackout game in New Orleans. They lost that Super Bowl.
and they lost to the Chiefs.
And they lost to the Chiefs. There's 2.
Yeah,
So they're 5-2. Is their
they
record?
lost. No, they lost twice to the Chiefs.
So
Remember
5-3.
Jimmy G lost,
Yeah,
and then
So they're 5-3.
Rock
And
lost. Yeah. So
they're
I mean, they've been in it a lot of times. Like,
Yeah.
think about Minnesota. And again,
Hey.
D Stout, I love you. I mean, king of car seats, big fan. But when Gary Anderson missed his first kick of the season against the Falcons in the NFC Championship game, like that one is a crusher.
Yeah.
And
Indoors.
it just, I mean, and then they don't get back. Like they don't get back. So those ones, I mean, that's decades of pain and thought. And like, I reached out to check on Tommy the Lip yesterday, and
All right.
I
How's
sent
he
him this
doing?
text. He's fine. He said, "Don't
Okay.
worry about him. He's good." He's gearing up for the PGA Championship. I guess
Okay.
he's gonna. So hopefully we'll have him on to talk about golf, not so much about basketball, because it's still raw, But he sent back Scott Norwood.
Which
Was
one?
his?
Which one?
Well, no, the Super Bowl.
Okay.
The Super Bowl. Scott Norwood.
But Scott Norton
Because
has a bad.
Buffalo's never won a Super Bowl.
Right.
So
0-4.
yeah. But yeah, that one, he just immediately was just 2 words. Scott Norwood. And I was like,
Wide right.
sorry. Yeah. So I mean, Train, I did say the other one for me was Volek scoring in overtime. Because the Penguins had won 2 in a row, and it looked like they were actually going to win 3 in a row, and all they had to do was win that game, and they let them hang around in that series. And that was my first grown-up loss. I was a senior in college, 1993. We were watching the game at Penn State. My parents were up for the weekend because we were going to graduate and go home and then go to the rest of the playoff games. And David Volek scored, and I got up and I said, "I'm going for a walk."
Yep.
And my mom was like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I don't want to talk to anybody right now. I don't. I'm just going for a walk." I had no bet on it. I just was ready for another semifinal and final run in the Stanley Cup. And it was over. The quickness of it being over, too, I think has that pain. That's what leaves the mark. When you know it's over, over.
JPC. That's one of the best moments in Boston history. Johnny Moses' call is still epic. Every kid in Boston growing up remembers the call. Steal by Bird, pass to DJ, underneath, layup, good. I talked to DJ about that on the golf course one day. I was like, "What did you see? What did you see on that?" It's like, "Just run to the cup, kid. Just run to the cup. Larry's going to find you."
Unbelievable.
He was a good dude. He signed an A's hat for me that day because I was wearing an A's hat because I was playing baseball, and the team I was playing in the Legion League team was the A's.
Oh,
So all I had was an A's hat. And he's like, "You want me to sign an A's hat?" I was like, "It's all I got." And he signed an A's hat. He signed an A's hat.
you still
It
have
was
that?
cool. I don't think so. No, I
I
don't.
bet
I don't
no.
believe.
Just by your reaction right there, no, you don't have it.
I don't think I have it. It may be in Andover. It could be in Andover. It could be at my mom's house.
Oh,
If it's anywhere, it's at my mom's house because I saved it for years. But it was
Right.
like he signed it in pen. He signed it on the brim of the hat.
Okay.
In pen, so it doesn't really stay. It's not like it's a Sharpie or anything. So
on the underneath or on the top?
underneath, he signed.
Underneath, okay.
Signed. He
Yeah.
flipped it over and signed it. And Dennis Johnson. I saved it for it was like my prized possession for years. So I was like, I have a Dennis Johnson signed hat.
There's
And then
Rainmaker Lou talking about the 1994 AFC Championship loss to the Chargers. That was the second worst for him. That was terrible. He was at that game. I was at home. We had
But
booked a trip to Vegas for the Super Bowl because the Steelers were going to play the Niners. So 25 people all booked a junket. We were all
Nice.
coming. It was my first trip to Vegas for the Super Bowl. I couldn't wait. I was 23 years old. I'm like, I'm going to Vegas for the Super Bowl, and the Steelers are playing. They were 10-point favorites and lost to Stan Humphries in the Chargers. But we made it all up. Me and Moses the barber came out, and I anger bet everything.
There you
I bet
go.
every Niners prop I could bet. Made it all back, and then some.
There you go. Guys, there's going to be bonus time today. There's going to be a special guest in bonus time, so you guys want to stick around for this. You don't know anything about this, but
good.
It's we be something you will like this. So stay. Favorite thing about today will be cool today. So stick around for favorite thing about today. News of the industry. Missed this yesterday. New segment. Yesterday was one of those days that you literally had to go, "What the is happening?" Because it didn't make a lot of sense. In real time, it connected. I don't believe now, after having 12 hours or so to digest the news, that the CFTC dropped their lawsuit up against Kalshi for their election betting. They went to the judge and said, we're not going to pursue this. The judge may or may not accept that, by the way, but they're no longer trying to prosecute Kalshi for taking bets on the election, which is really illegal, by the way. But CFTC is no longer going to pursue a legal remedy of this. The same day they dropped that lawsuit, they laid off the vast majority of their staff. Now, this is under the guise of an investigation into improper relationships and improper behavior by the staff of the CFTC. But this had me spinning yesterday, Dave. I didn't know. I was blown away by this. Is this America? Is this America? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. You sent me this text and I was like, okay, what does this mean? And it prompted another text and then multiple texts to other people. And then I was driving and I'm like, I have to call you because we have to talk this through because I don't know what this means long-term. Short-term, if you had a job there,
bye-bye.
You just
bye-bye.
You grab your belongings. It's one of those situations where you're like, yep,
back it up.
Okay. Very strange, but at the same time, when you look at what's going on with a much bigger picture and a much bigger lens, it's a little scary, no? You just kind of hi.
Well, I mean, the question, and this is where I was going back and forth with a couple of people on LinkedIn about this, and they're like, it doesn't seem like it's related because the investigation was already going on.
Right.
But they were investigating the CFTC for doing things improper. They had improper relationships going on. So they have decided to lay off. And some are saying we don't know the actual number, but it was reported by certain people like Steve Ruddock that he heard it was the entire department, the CFTC. Everyone was put on admin leave for improper behavior. So we've already talked about the relationship between Kalshi and the CFTC had fleas. Like there's some problems there because of the incestuous nature of going back and forth, lead counsel, leaving Kalshi, going to the CFTC, people on Kalshi's team that were from the CFTC. So we have all this, intermingling going on between the two.
Yeah.
And now we're investigating improper behavior.
Yeah.
And so the CFTC now gets laid. Who's watching the commodities exchange right now? Like, is there a watchdog going on right now? Because by all accounts, there is no CFTC anymore. It's gone.
Yeah. Again, one of those situations where you kind of just go, oh, so this is how they're going to do it.
Right. This is America. I mean, I was literally exchanging text messages with people yesterday going, is this America? I guess so.
This is different. This is different. There's no real procedure here. And anybody that might hold up the procedure, we just kind of go,
goodbye.
There's the door. Which, the guy used to do a TV show. He used to say you're fired, right? I mean, he used to just say you're fired.
Right.
I remember the show was called The Apprentice.
Yeah.
You're fired. You're fired. So maybe that's what he did. I don't know, man. It's strange. It's a little alarming.
Really alarming.
Yeah.
I mean, if you read this, on the left-hand side, this is the release that the CFTC placing the staff on leave. The CFTC is committed to holding employees to the highest standards as expected by American taxpayers pursuant to the president's executive orders on lawful governance and accountability. The CFTC has placed staff, doesn't say how many or everyone, but just staff on admin leave for, quote, potential violations of laws, government ethics requirements, and professional rules of conduct, meaning they were taking handouts, bribes. They were doing things that were illegal, things that they should not have been doing as a government organization. But that makes the Kalshi case even more difficult from a legal standpoint because we don't know, was it involving Kalshi or somebody else? We don't know, but that void is being filled by a lot of people saying, you need to answer this question because you've just laid off the CFTC, and most people in America, like 99.99%, are not paying attention to this. No one's paying attention, but we are, because we know the numbers we're hearing, the millions of dollars that are being talked about here involving Kalshi, who now there's nobody stopping this. Like for right now, Kalshi is going to have a clear path, and that would lead others. We've already heard from Sport Trade. They're going into it. That broke while we were gone. That trade's going into the commodities exchange for sports betting. And Alex Kane, in the very release that he put out there,
he wrote a letter to them.
Well, he said, I'm not going to laugh at you and say it's not gambling. This is betting. This is sports gambling. We're going to do this, but it's sports gambling. So that's what it is. They're not going to be the last. I mean, there's going to be more.
Where do you think Alex's letter is at the office? Do you think anybody picked it up on the way out? Do you think anybody has it up anywhere?
The original?
No. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, Butchie. It does feel like it's going to get swept. The whole thing is going to get swept under the rug.
Well, of course.
Agree. Yeah.
It's not important until it is, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of other things that are very important going on and being talked about, and this isn't one of them.
But it's going to revolutionize if this is allowed to stand. We've talked about the influence. If you are a book operating in a state, you've just been given the path to a 50-state solution. You don't need to worry about the mass regulatory commission. You don't need to worry about the board of governors in Illinois. You don't got to worry about Tennessee and the lottery. You have a 50-state solution handed to you now that you can go and open up a book in Utah and Alabama and California and Florida and Texas, and no one's going to stop you.
It's crazy. I just, with the stuff that had to go on years ago when I was down in the Caribbean to now, to what I went through when PASPA passed, and just it's not that easy. But I guess the path is there. I don't know. I saw it yesterday. We talked about it yesterday. We're talking about it today. I don't know if you guys are in states where, I almost did it yesterday, and I got a very busy week and a lot of things going on and whatever. So but I almost said, you know what? I'm just going to put Kalshi on my phone. I got to see how this works. Because it is a lot of development that needs to be done. Yes, Butchie, but they're fast. They're mobile. They're doing it. They did it. They threw it up. I don't know. So yeah, Jimmy, I don't know who is. I don't know who's watching it. I don't know.
It's not just the gambling we're talking about. It's the entire department. I mean, this is everybody. like this is everybody.
Yeah.
So if you're in the commodities exchange business, you right now, I mean, if you were dealing with a compliance officer or you were dealing with somebody in that department, you don't know if they're there anymore because it just says the staff.
So does this open a door for the other ones like Play Profit?
Yes.
Cut and
everyone.
All the peer-to-peer stuff?
All the peer-to-peer is different than the commodities, remember, okay? There's two different things.
Well, yeah, but will they just pivot?
Correct. They should just pivot to become a commodities exchange, and they will be governed under the CFTC, and they will be able to operate right now unchecked in every state that you'd want to be in. I mean, all the big betting states, New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts, Florida, Illinois, Texas, California, all the big population states, you are clear to operate as of right now. Unchecked.
It's fascinating.
Unchecked. And so, and I give Alex Kane a lot of credit. Alex is saying, I am not going to lie to you guys. This is sports betting. But if you're going to give me the keys to open up a book in every state of America, I'm taking that opportunity. I'm not going to just sit there and let one Kalshi run business own American sports betting. We're not going to let that happen. And so here comes competition. And here comes all of those states with all their tax revenue, with all of their licensing fees, everything that they've been banking on, making budgets for 26 and beyond based upon that level of income coming in from sports gambling. All of a sudden, they all got to wake up to the reality that it could be cut dramatically.
One thing I said to you, because I'm always trying to think a move ahead or what's next. And there ain't going to be another state that's going to go legal. Like,
Right.
Hawaii went to the finish line and got nixed, and Missouri's supposed to happen, but like, why would you do all that now? If you were a book, I mean, like the money you have to spend on a lobbyist, and then the commission, and then the technology and everything to go legal in a state to be fifth. Like you're if the other four are in that state, you're automatic fifth best. You're vying for 5% max. Why in the hell would you do it? I don't know. I don't think we're going to see any states anytime soon.
Why would you? I mean, why would you?
I wouldn't.
And then why would you pay them? Like Pennsylvania's fee was $10 million.
Yeah.
Why would you pay Pennsylvania $10 million? I can operate in your state for free. I don't got to pay you even tax dollars. I don't have to pay you your tax rate. I can just take the money out and put it in my pocket.
Speaking of tax rates, Ohio said they want to raise it to 40%.
Great. Keep going. And then you're going to drive everyone straight to Kalshi, Sport Trade, anybody else, because they're going to market into your state. I can't wait to see what states pass laws that state you cannot market in our state and how they go around that.
Yeah.
Because that's going to happen a ton.
We just got to keep the show alive. And anybody going to have nowhere to talk about this stuff? We got to keep the show alive. I mean, sign us off now. We'll get to bonus time.
Bonus time on the other side. We'll continue this conversation. We will also get to favorite thing about today. If you guys are watching live, don't move. More to come. If you're on the replay crew, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Back tomorrow on Sports Grid and Sirius XM. The rest of you, bonus time. It is one of the more scarier situations because almost everyone in America is not paying attention to this. And so there's such a few number of people who are writing, who are talking, who are actually following along as to how this story has unfolded. And every time the next chapter, I feel dirtier for following it. Like, I know democracy is messy, and I know business oftentimes is done. How the sausage gets made is somewhat disgusting at times, but this is a whole different situation here. Like, this just reeks. The whole thing looks corrupt. Whole thing just looks like it's a grift. It's a way of lining people's pockets.
Business is business.
Is it?
This gambling business is different. I mean, they, telling stories and saying stuff. And
when do the tribes get involved? Because they're the solution. If you want to talk about who becomes the stopgap, who stops this from happening, it's the law that was passed 60 years ago that gives sovereignty and control over gambling to the tribes.
So they're just going to keep them out of those states?
Well,
the powerful states. I mean, because they can't keep them out of 50 states, can they? But they can say in Florida. I mean, like, if you run an office pool in Florida and they want to find you and make it a problem,
oh yeah,
they make it a problem.
Well, Florida and California are the two states where the tribes have the most power. Yeah, and those Texas are two really, really big population states. Texas doesn't have as big because it's Oklahoma more than Texas. But,
okay, that's fine, but there's a lot of money there.
Yes, yeah.
So,
but it's Florida and California, and then you could potentially use a court hearing, a court ruling, to go after Kalshi and or Sport Trade or whoever you're going to go after, using what a court decides in federal court in Florida or federal court in California. So it just depends upon how much your AG wants to do with it. But to me, that's the only way this is going to get stopped. The only way that American sports gambling, as we currently know it, as PASPA was repealed and it was given to the states, the only way this does not turn into a federal issue, because the next step will be a federal law that will be passed that will govern sports gambling in America. That's the path we're being led down. The only way that does not happen, in my opinion, is if the Gambling Act, the IG, the Indian Gaming Pact, forget what the last two letters are, but that law that was passed giving sovereignty over gaming to the tribes, if that does not get flexed, sports gambling as we know it will be changed.
ISGA or something.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah.
I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
So that's the only way that will happen.
Wow.
So we'll stay on it. We'll watch it, but we are in a very interesting time. Speaking of interesting time, let's go to your city, because What is going on with your city? I don't understand. Were you ready for that one, boys and girls? The Brigade Proxy Service NFL story of the day with the Brigade Proxy stinger.
This is happening, isn't it? It's
blew
happening.
all of your eardrums out because
It's happening.
Aaron Rodgers to Pittsburgh appears to be the odds-on favorite. Everyone's thought and process is that your quarterback next season is going to be the one and only Aaron Rodgers.
I was in New Jersey and went to the draft party, and Russell Wilson was at the draft party at MetLife. And I saw him last night at the gala with pictures of him and Sierra and thought, man, he's not in Pittsburgh anymore. But who is? It's happening. I think it's happening. You think it's happening?
Yes, I do think it's happening.
It's happening.
Who's going to play quarterback for you guys? You guys weren't aggressive.
happening.
You guys weren't aggressive in the draft. I think that was sort of the whole thing. You weren't aggressive. You could have been, but you chose not to be. You had numerous chances to do what the Giants did. You guys could have drafted.
I was going back and forth with somebody a couple days ago, and they're like, "Oh, Kirk Cousins will be there if it's not Rodgers." And I was like, "Can they just go with the guys they got? Like, accept it."
Mason Rudolph.
That's it.
So it's funny. I was in Jamaica. I'm on a catamaran in Jamaica, right?
Mm-hmm.
His family is there, and Amanda comes over and she was talking to them. And I said, who are them? And she says, oh, blah, 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 they're from Pittsburgh. And so I walk over and I asked about your dad's store. I was like, hey, do you know about Ralph's downtown? And the guy was like, we haven't lived in Pittsburgh downtown in a long time. He's like, we live in Ohio now, but we're from Pittsburgh.
Okay.
My wife and I are from Pittsburgh. I was like, my co-host of my show is from Pittsburgh.
Right.
And we started talking, and I was like, he's like, well, yeah, blah, blah, blah. We're talking about football. And I'm like, you a Steeler fan? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, are you ready for Aaron Rodgers? And the guy looked at me deadpan and goes, fuck no. And I was like, does everyone feel that way? He goes, everyone feels that way.
I think it's true.
He goes, nobody wants Aaron Rodgers.
I think it's true. Only because you know what it is. Like, it's a 1-year soap opera. Anyone else will send them dimes.
Danny Dimes
from Indianapolis. I don't know. But at this rate, the longer it goes like this, it feels like, yeah, he's going to be, king of car seats. Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers are two pit guys for sure. We don't need them both. Please. No. I don't know. Neither one is going to play through the whole season. So
really,
Mason Rudolph's going to get playing time. I just play him.
So you're comfortable going under 500?
Absolutely.
With DK Metcalf. You've gone and gotten DK Metcalf.
For next year when they get Arch.
You're going to play a true rookie with DK Metcalf? What?
Listen,
with
you get
Pickens?
the defense, you get the defense all taken care of.
George Pickens?
You're building, and you get a guy who's NFL ready to come in and be the quarterback and just say, don't turn the ball over. You recreate the Roethlisberger era again.
This is what the guy in the catamaran said to me too. He goes, just play Will Howard. I was like, Will Howard? He's like, yeah, play Will Howard. He was great at Ohio State. I was like, what are we doing? Is it one blip, 1 year? Like, come on. You can't play Will Howard.
No. And people love this guy.
They do. Who's the other Ohio State guy that you guys got there? Everyone,
Jack, the linebacker.
Jack. You got the two friends. You got them both in Pittsburgh.
Yep. That's fine.
Will Howard.
I don't know. Dave, the Steelers will never get a top 5 pick. Ha ha.
Why not?
Vinny, why is that funny?
Why not?
Why is that funny? Funny how? What does that mean?
Look, you guys need to copy my team. Copy the Patriots.
Yeah, just be bad.
You got to be bad. You got to be bad for a couple of years. You got to be bad. You got to get a couple of draft picks. One, you got to get the quarterback. And next year, the quarterback draft is good. There's a couple of really good quarterbacks coming out next year. So you got that going for you.
Yeah.
And then you've got the defense, which, in your division, you guys can't do this for too long. You can't just be mediocre. You got the Ravens and Lamar in your division. It's not easy to do this.
And the Bengals and Joe Burrow. And
Burrow's like you have two quarterbacks who are franchise guys who are going to be there for at least the next 5 years. So you got to get your guy. You got to get a franchise quarterback. The Patriots can screw around because the Dolphins and the Jets step on their dick every year. So we got to worry about them. Like, and the Bills are starting to slide, and the Bills had their window, and the window's closing on Buffalo.
Yeah.
So, like, it's different in the Patriots division. You guys have two franchises. Look, Taylor's a clown, but you have Burrow and you've got Chase, and they found a way to keep everybody financially on that roster. So their defense might suck, but their offense is unbelievable.
Right.
And the Ravens just keep on reloading, and they keep on getting better. I mean, their draft was awesome. So, like, and now the distraction's gone, and they cut Tucker today. So I'm not going to worry about him anymore. So there's no worries with that problem. Just be bad. But Pittsburgh's not going to accept that. The Pirates and the Steelers both can't suck. You guys will be furious.
I'm old enough to remember when they did. I'm old enough to remember when all three did. The Penguins were bad too.
3 straight years in the postseason, in the playoffs. Got Crosby, sitting there going, where are we going? Yeah, he may be 10-7. Tomlin, that's fine, is what he is. But how long has it been since a playoff victory? It's been a while, right?
Too long.
For the Steelers? Like,
I think it's been almost 10 years.
This is what happened with Belichick. The Patriots just stopped spending. They fell apart, and then they were able to get rid of Belichick. It's almost the same thing has to happen with Tomlin. Like, they got to have back-to-back bad years, or at least one bad year, and then you can make the change, and you can bring in whoever else you need to go ahead and bring on. You've had 3 coaches in your life, you have stated. That's incredibly rare.
It's unbelievable.
For what the Pittsburgh Steelers are able to do. Most teams have done what the Patriots did. They had a fall guy in between Belichick and Vrabel. And they had Gerard Mayo to take a 1-year team and fall apart. And luckily for the Patriots, he was available, but he was also smart enough to say, I'm not replacing Bill. Like, no way am I coming in to replace Belichick. But I'll replace Mayo because things were pretty clown showish under Gerard Mayo. So now you've got Mike Vrabel sliding in. So who's going to be your Vrabel? He's out there. There's a coach that's got Steeler ties and has the pedigree to come in and be a part of that franchise. It's one of the most coveted jobs in professional sports to coach the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just have to suck. Rainmaker, you've been on this since this show began. I'll tip of the cap to you on that. You have been on the anti-Tomlin train since this show signed on.
Yep.
And you've been completely against
For those of you listening to the show, Rainmaker Lou just came in and said Tomlin has a lifetime contract. Rudy's have no balls.
Do you agree?
They don't like change. They don't. It's stability is what it is. Standard is the standard. He's been there. I don't know. I again, they want to fire everybody. Like, they want to fire. I mean, they just got rid of Sullivan with the Penguins. Shelton, I don't know how he gets to and from his car in Pittsburgh. Like, this is a guy, they want to blame him for everything. He's got half the time he's got, a AAA, maybe AA lineup in there. Like, the manager can only do so much. I don't know. But yeah, the defense has been so good, in the last few years, and just it sucks to know that it's not like their season wins is 9 every year, 8.5 every year. They're mediocre, right in the middle.
Could you imagine James Franklin?
No.
You can't hire James Franklin.
No.
Talk about mediocre. You can't hire mediocre.
There's no chance that's happening. James Franklin is a college football coach. He's not going to the
100%.
NFL. He's no way. No.
100%. Is Aller back for you guys, by the way?
Yeah.
That's good.
Which would end up
All right.
the way things working out.
He could be your quarterback?
No.
Oh, no.
No, don't even say it. Don't even say it.
Drew Aller's going to be your quarterback.
No. He's going to get drafted by someone else. No.
Yeah.
Literally might be the second-rated quarterback behind Arch.
I know, but you can't do that because you've already done that.
Correct.
You got Kenny Two Gloves came in.
We don't need to see that again.
You don't need to see that again.
No.
Yeah. You don't need to see that again. Oh my gosh. All right. Time for favorite thing about today. Favorite thing about today. I'm gonna hijack you. And I'm actually gonna say, sorry, you don't get this today. Your daughters get this today. They get favorite thing about today.
Yo, what's up?
What's up? What are you doing?
Nothing. What are you doing?
What are you?
I mean, aren't you? You're supposed to be at finals.
I already.
Not to bother you this week.
Wait, I have really good news for you. Actually, I took my stats final today. I got 100%.
Wow!
Wow, really?
Look at you.
I did.
That's fantastic.
Right?
That's great news. That's awesome. And Kels, I mean, I talked to you over the weekend. You were exhausted. You were falling asleep like on the phone. Like, are you okay?
No, actually, I'm on 2 hours of sleep. I was studying for anatomy all night, but I took my last in-person final. Another year of college done. So
Check. Done.
check that.
That's fantastic.
I think she
Yeah.
did fine though. She got a 90 on her last one.
There you go.
This is great news. This is great. I'm an emotional wreck right now. This is awesome. You guys got me by surprise. And I'm having one of those weeks myself. So I'm very excited to see you. The process has begun at the house for your arrival.
That's good.
I was informed last night that you're getting a car, a truck to move out and some stuff.
So kind of, but I think it might be easier to just rent a U-Haul for the day because we have so much stuff.
And
Like,
it's
Okay.
been raining nonstop until we leave. So
Yeah, you're on the weather report. There's about a rain for like 7 days in a row, huh?
Of course, right before we leave.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be moving everything in the rain. I can't wait.
Listen, makes you tougher. That's good.
Yeah.
Vegas kids melt in rain, actually.
You guys were raised in Vegas, but you got some back east in you. Between me and your mother and all of your friends and things, like you got a lot of back east in you. I'm so proud of you. That's great news. So what are you doing the rest of the week?
Packing.
So you have no class.
Well, we actually have one more philosophy paper we have to write,
Okay.
but that's
Okay.
online. That's online.
No more in person. We're both done in person.
There you go.
Okay.
And then, so what does the trip to Vegas look like? When are you coming back?
That's on the down low.
Oh.
Special arrival.
Okay. Special arrival. Okay.
Okay.
We're
That's-
also going to Philly before we come home, so it really is a special arrival because I don't have any plans yet.
We're
So
going to see Dan the man.
Oh boy. Does Uncle Dan know you're coming?
he does actually. We had to give him a heads up.
Okay. All right, yeah, because Uncle Dan don't like surprises. And
But
Uncle Dan would lock the door. Yeah.
we're welcome anytime, actually.
Oh, okay.
It's not
good.
you.
Yeah, you're the one that has the limit at his house, not us.
I have no limit.
Yes, you do because you decided to stay for a month and a half without him knowing.
Well, that was a one-time shot. That was a
Yeah, well,
one-time
now
shot.
he has his guard up because of it.
I know, but I didn't know we were going to get into all the stuff we got into.
Well,
Twice-
that's why you
twice
have a
then.
limit and we don't.
Well, yeah, but we found a sponsor for the show back then. We went to some baseball games.
True.
Everything was fine. So
It was fine, but
Yeah.
not for him.
that's fine. You're funny. You're real funny. Who wins the Knights game tonight?
The Knights.
Has to be.
Game one, the Oilers.
Didn't this happen last year? The Oilers and Knights, or am I
Two-
tripping?
2
Nope,
years.
you're right.
ago. 2
Oh.
years ago.
Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2023.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Knights got it all the way.
Oh,
So
okay.
the Knights beat the Oilers on the way to the championship 2 years ago?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So history repeating itself.
yeah.
There you go.
Kai, what are those glasses? Did you?
I
did
like
They're
them.
new.
Bougie.
They're new. They're not bougie. They're new.
I like them. I like them.
Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah, I do like them. Yeah.
Thanks.
They look like yours, Dave. Look like
I
listening
mean,
glasses.
that's fine. Yeah, listen. The kids pretend like they give me shit all the time, but like they want to be like their dad a little bit.
No.
Come on,
No.
please. The glasses, the style.
No,
all
just
that stuff, no?
unfortunately, we have the same shape head, so this is the only style that looks good on me.
Wow,
Yeah.
Ouch.
really?
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll put these ones on for you on the way out.
There you go.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You guys made my day. This is awesome.
That's tremendous.
I had to
Welcome
tell you
to-
about my exam, and I figured it'd be pretty good if I did it on the show. So
Hell yeah.
I'm so excited. That's
Thanks.
I
Congrats
know
to
how
both of
much
you.
you like that class, so that's
I
good.
actually really enjoyed it.
I
Oh,
know.
good.
Well, maybe we can help you can learn how to make numbers if you want to, work in the book and do some stuff. We need some softball numbers. Did you see
Yeah.
the SEC tournament today?
No, I haven't watched softball yet. I've literally been. Last night I didn't sleep, so I was working on exams.
Good.
Okay.
That's what you're
Well,
supposed to do.
congratulations and thank you for joining the show.
Yes.
Yeah, of
Great
course.
stuff, girls. Congratulations. Looking to see you both back here in Vegas. Travel safe. Don't do anything stupid.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
See ya.
Big and middle can sig here on the favorite thing about today for BVB. So look at
I'm
that.
speechless. I love that.
Well, they have figured out they can get at me. So they just text me.
That's
good.
good.
So they texted me and said,
They don't
hey,
even text me.
they
I
said,
was strictly told this week to leave them alone.
oh, so I got a text from Kylie and she said, can we join the show? We want to come on, surprise our dad. I said, sure. And she said, when should we come on? Favorite thing about today or now? I said, do favorite thing about today. It's better. And they said, okay. So that's how we coordinated that on
That's
air
awesome.
on the show. Literally, that was
That's
half
fantastic.
an hour ago. So that's very cool. So I'm glad we were able to do
Man,
that.
that's great. Thank you.
So they're done and they're coming back for the summer. What's the plan? They're staying there for a while and then just hanging out.
No, they got to finish out this week. I mean,
Right.
they're going to pack everything and
Drop it off at
they'll have a
Dan's.
car, so they
Drop it-
don't. Yeah, they're going to.
Uncle Dan's.
They're going to go see him before they come back. Flying out of Philly has worked out way better for us than flying out of Newark.
I was going to tell you. Have you seen the news about Newark?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't fly out of Newark. Fly out of Philly. I was going to say, hey, the girls aren't flying out of Newark, right?
No,
Fly out of
no.
Philly.
it's worked out for all of us.
Screw that place.
Yeah.
Oof.
So, but yeah, they'll be home next week, and hopefully we'll all have some good news, and we'll be able to
Good.
just relax and everything. So that'll be good.
Good.
I'm happy. They were stressed about the tests when we talked. I talked to them both on Friday, and they were like, "Yeah, we have to study this weekend." And like on the weekend, I like to text them and FaceTime them and all this other stuff. And Kendall's playing volleyball, and I always text them from the game. And I was told strictly, leave the girls alone. They're studying. So that's the first time I've had contact with them in 4 days. So that was
good.
awesome. So thank you. It was good.
Very cool. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, that's my favorite thing about today. That was awesome. So I'm glad we were able to hook that up. Guys, thank you for being here. We're back tomorrow. Note the start time because we may have to move things around a little bit because Dave may have an appointment that we got to take care of. So
Start time tomorrow is good. I don't think Thursdays. Thursday. I'm not sure yet.
okay. So maybe no show Thursday.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then we may be off Thursday, and then
Right.
Friday we'll see what we're back on that. So back
Right.
tomorrow, same place, same time. He is Dave. I'm back tomorrow for a Wednesday's BVB.